Hey guys, so this is a quick update on how my garden is doing. It's kind of not even spring yet, and of course the weather is not ideal, but it's a dry day, so that's a big blessing here in Ireland. I have a cold and a flu at the moment, so I need to kind of work through that as well. But I wanted to kind of make an update because I wanted to show you guys what the garden looks like at this time of the year and what you can do as well. Now you can see the vegetable patch is a bit of a jungle. I like it that way in this time of the year because I like kind of weeds to take over. There's some perennial weeds there which I'm not too happy about, but it's mostly these kind of rushes here. But I'm going to take them out now and just place them over there onto the bed. This, by the way, is a no-dig bed, and the reason I leave the weeds on there is because it protects the soil. And guys, if you could smell this stuff, it just really is. It's really, really sweet, really, it's a really amazing kind of soil as well. Finger goes in right and easy. Let me dig up a little bit just to show you guys. I mean, look how black that stuff is. And that's just 3 years, maybe 4 years of kind of no tilling, just leaving it do what it does. So I'm going to go now and weed these parsnips. And these guys are going to be for seed saving. So what I need to do here is I need to kind of go down there and kind of try and touch the crown and see how big the crown is, because that's kind of an indication on how big the plant is. Also the size of the leaves, usually there's some really big ones there. And I'm going to have about maybe 15 altogether that I can save seeds from. I'm going to take out these smaller ones, the ones that didn't do so well. You know, because it's not going to produce a great kind of seed like optimum seed. It'll produce good enough seed, but I really want optimum seeds for my seed saving project. Now, if you remember me planting these blackcurrant kind of cuttings, and you can just about see that the buds are starting to swell up. That means that there's a root development down in the ground. This one, I don't actually know, that's just a stick. But pretty much all of them are doing quite well. This one is the leaves are starting to come out. So this is working out really, really well. In time I'm probably going to clear off those weeds there, and probably on this side here. I have a load of clutches there at the moment for storage, and I'm going to turn this whole area back here into kind of a fruit bush production kind of area for myself, and also for the birds as well. Now the wormery, of course, survived pretty well through the winter, and I've left a bit of straw in there. Now the worms are going to be deeper down. You can actually see a few there already at the surface. So at this time of the year you're always going to have less worms. It's quite normal, nothing to worry about because of the cold, and they're going to explode into a really good population very soon, and I can make compost tea from them. Just take out all the compost and just keep adding more and more food. This is a bit dry for them, so I need to maybe add a bit of water, because I do have a roof on it just to kind of protect it from too much rain. Now another thing that's happening here, which I'm very, very pleased about, you can't see it yet because we have, see these kind of sticks here, these are the perennial skirret, which is the wild carrot. And it's just about, so I shouldn't have done that there, actually, yeah, better cover that again. You can see the little green shoots coming up, so I'm going to weed all this area now. It's about time. Again, a no-dig bed. Look how easy my finger just goes in there. Really, really simple. And these plants are going to get very, very big this year because I've left them in the ground. I haven't moved them. I'm actually going to not bother crop rotating these because they are perennials and they're much more hardy, so they're not going to have any problem regarding crop rotation. This is kind of an exception to the rule. So I'm also going to take out all these little, going to eat those, take them out because they're obviously going to be way too small for seed saving as well. Now another plant that I just spotted here is this kale plant here. It looks more like starting to be a hybrid with some kind of cabbage. If you look at the leaves here, they're much more curly. So this is obviously an F1 now. So I'm obviously going to take this out, not let it go to seed. Also going to eat that because we want to try and grow seeds true to type, that we have the same kind of characteristics in the plant. year after year, and most of them are the same kind of, belonging to the same kind of actual variety, except for that one here. And I need to really take it out because it just looks off, it looks different. It looks very healthy and strong and wonderful, and it probably would breed into something amazing, but to be honest, I do want to keep this kind of Russian kale going, so I don't want it to mix with this one here. Now you can see the same actually going on with the leek. We have some really nice leeks here, which I'm definitely going to save seeds from. It's quite thick stem, but these ones here, this one is just about alright, but a lot of these kind of ones here, I'm not going to, of course, I kind of let them run to seed, and I broke off the head. They ran to seed way too early before winter, and that's the big no-no for saving seeds from leek, because what's going to happen is the seeds in future years, and these were some really nice big ones as well, like this one here, but the seeds in future years, they're just going to run to seed early, and we want leek to actually go through the winter so we have a lovely crop in spring. So these, pretty much half of them all went to seed too early. I think it was just bad seed saving by the company I bought them off. In time now, like this one here is a great one. That one there is just about okay. I'm going to use that one as well as seed saving. Now, whenever I kind of do a bit of gardening, Mr. Robin isn't very far away. He kind of follows me around the garden as I go weeding. So he seems to be a constant companion in the garden. Now I've taken off all the weeds off the parsnip and I've added it to this bed here. I'm also going to take that bale of straw now apart, and I'm going to add it on top of this just to stop or prevent the weeds from actually growing again. So within about 3 months it'll be ready to plant. I can take off the straw for a while to reduce the slug problem as well. Now another thing I'm doing is I'm going to use my old wormery. This is this kind of big container here as a kind of a dumping ground for all the weeds that I'm going to take off now. In time this is going to give me a lot of food. Nothing should be wasted in the garden, even weeds. And I might even put a kind of a layer of carpet or something like that on top, just to kind of prevent these from growing. Now I'm left with all these leeks for seed saving. There's about 30 there, all nice and big. I'm happy with that outcome, and they're going to be mighty seeds. I have all these ones here for eating. They're too small to save seeds from, and they haven't gone to seed. These guys all have run to seed, and the stems are too hard to really start eating them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use all of these. I'm going to cut them up with a knife, and I'm going to put them on top of there with the mulch, and then use some of that straw, just sprinkle it on, just to put back into the garden, which is always important. I just wanted to show you some of the bigger ones. It's a shame they went to seed early. Like the roots on these, look how long they are. It just really shows that if you do a kind of a no-dig gardening method, and these came up in big clumps. Yeah, as I said, it's a pity that these ran to seed. Now I also wanted to show you guys another thing. First of all, my tunnel blew away. I'm probably going to reuse some of these materials in future gardening projects. But what I really wanted to show you guys is how certain plants can create their own mulches, and you can actually plant plants in between your vegetables if you do it in a smart way, so that these kind of strong plants don't outcompete the vegetables. Let me just show you. You can see roughly here where the weeds stop and the vegetable bed kind of carries on and there's no weeds. So the reason for that was, first of all, we had the big vine coming out of here, and it was growing around here, and it created its own mulch because I didn't take it away. I like to leave things on the top of the soil. It looks a bit messy, but actually that's what nature does anyway, so I think it's actually a very good thing to do. We have our comfrey here just coming up again. It's got a little bit burned from the frost there the other day. But what you notice here is all the old branches that have fallen over, all the leaves. There's a few oak leaves as well, of course, from the tree above. But these branches have kind of spread out and pretty much decayed into the ground. You can see how the worms actually have taken most of this up. Let me just find a spot there. It's pretty much everywhere. You can see these kind of little holes. They're earthworm holes. Also earlier when I was looking, I saw a lot of little insects crawling around. That's a good sign that there's plenty of biology in the soil. Because of course bigger things will always eat bigger things in nature, and eventually it gets up to the quite the large size of a little kind of maybe insect. So if you see insects on your soil floor, you know that in the soil you have plenty of bacteria. See that hole there? So there's quite, in some places there's quite a lot of holes. There's, of course, my mint is spreading, so I might need to do something about that very soon. And it's even spreading up to here, so I don't really want that. Now another thing that I wanted to show you guys is what am I going to do here. I'm going to weed off all these kind of beds, and then I'm going to plant up with Bedford monarch's parsnip, which is the same one we saw earlier. We're going to do that bed, and then I'm going to do carrots in the bed behind there. Now that's all I'm going to do today in regards to making a video. I want to get back into the garden and really give it my best shot now today while the weather is lasting. Also I'm going to head off now in a while. Maybe tonight I'm going to make a lovely leek and cabbage soup. It's definitely going to make me much better, maybe beat my cold altogether. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.